I'd now like to welcome back to the stage Mayor Sir Ndaiye. And I'd also like to thank Byron Council again for the great partnership you've had today. This is the last session of today, and it's the Byron Shire Council Destination Spotlight. So welcome down, Mayor.
Hi everyone. It's been a long day already, so have a little stretch. And I will try not to take too long because we've got another event tonight for those of you that are coming to the award ceremony. So if you don't already know, my name's Sarah Ndaiye. I came here 30 or so years ago. I had a broken heart. I just split up with my boyfriend. I was in Bondi at a place called Record Session. I'd been listening to the Paris, Texas CD. And the guy at Record Session said, if you love that, you've got to see Taj Mahal. He's sold out at the Opera House, but there's still tickets for the Blues Fest. I got on a red rattler back when we had a train that came all the way here. This was 1994, and went to the Blues Festival, had an incredible time, somehow ended up on stage singing backing vocals with Taj Mahal, as you do. I'd love to say that I did it really confidently, but I was absolutely shitting myself. And had an incredible time. The next day, I was staying up at the caravan park at First Sun, met this lovely guy. We went for a big walk. We decided we wouldn't go swimming until we went till we got to the very point at Watergoes. And I jumped in and scrambled back out again. And then he went and scrambled back in, and I was just about to jump again, and he grabbed me by the hair, and this big bronze whaler came up. I was just about to jump in there. So I had some pretty wild experiences in my first 48 hours in this place, and obviously fell in love with it, and decided to bring my children up here, who are now 27 and 25. Um, I think there's an important part of that conversation that was just had about high value visitors, um, because we want people to come here that are going to respect the place. We want people that are going to spend some money. But also, I did a bit of a poll online of people that do live up here and how and why they first came up here. A lot of them were students at Southern Cross University or one of the other education places. They may have come up here surfing. They may have hitched up here. Um, a lot of us, when we first come here, we're not coming here in the linen set, going to Rays at Watergoes and, staying at a 5-star hotel. A lot of us were backpackers or, have a very, so don't undervalue as well those day trippers. I think it's really important to have a variety of offerings so that people who come and want to engage in the town have something other than $150 dinner to go to. And so that's why I'm really keen on pushing this, sort of bringing the vibrancy back into the middle of town. And the town has changed, and so have I. I'm not twirling fire in the middle of the street as I did 30 years ago, just across the road here. Um, and, but there were people reading your palm, people, all different sorts of things going on. And I want that collective feeling of inclusion to take part in this discussion, whether that's around people of different age groups, abilities, backgrounds, because we also have quite a bit of a monoculture here in terms of who does visit. And that's something I think we can look at as well. Some of those things, so many interesting things in that last presentation. And one of them that you mentioned was around, the challenges with the US market not functioning the way that it was. Also makes huge opportunities. When I was in Greece and Italy, they were finding they were swamped with Canadian visitors because people who traditionally would always go in their holidays to the US don't want a bar of it. And so they were reaching out and going to these places, and they were actually overrun with Canadians. So I wouldn't see all these things. There's always a flip side to the challenges. There's opportunities in there as well. And I know, I wouldn't be going to the States at the moment. I'd be worried that they looked at my social media. They might not let me. I don't know what would happen. So we're going to have a look at a little video presentation that council have put together. So I'll, are we good to go with that? All good to go with that. And I'll come back shortly.
Welcome to Byron Shire, the traditional land of the Arakwal, Midginbul and Widjabul-Wyabul peoples of the Bundjalung Nation. A place where ancient culture meets shifting tides of tourism, creativity and change. Here on the far north coast of New South Wales, the Byron Shire is home to around 38,000 residents and welcomes almost 2 million visitors each year. Nature is at the heart of Byron's appeal. Marine parks, rainforest trails and hinterland waterfalls offer not just beauty, but a call to protect and regenerate. This is a story of vision and resilience, of a small coastal region with a global identity. Byron Bay is known as Cabin Bar, the meeting place. For thousands of years, Indigenous people gathered here. Despite the disruption of colonisation, they continue leading the stewardship of land, culture and education.
This place is where I feel like I belong. When I look out in the ocean and I see Ndaiye, the place of our grandfather, I feel like I belong. It's a part of who we are.
Tourism first stirred in the late 1800s. Visitors came for the coastal beauty. The Cape Byron Lighthouse on Cape Walgan was lit in 1901, signalling the region's future. But back then, Byron was a town built on industry: sand mining, whaling and dairy. Then the counterculture movement arrived. The Aquarius Festival sparked a new path, welcoming artists, surfers, seekers and environmentalists. Creativity flourished, nature was celebrated, and the wellness industry emerged, putting Byron on the global map. By the 1990s, tourism surged, with ecotourism and coastal chic defining the Byron Shire. Byron Bay became an icon, and as word spread, newcomers arrived in waves, drawn by the lifestyle, the beauty, and the promise of escape. Over the years, it also became a magnet for creatives and celebrities, drawn by the laid-back vibe, connection to nature, and sense of freedom. But with this influx came pressure. Housing availability shrank, prices soared, long-term rentals disappeared. A community once known for its laid-back spirit found itself in the grip of a growing crisis. In a town under strain, shaping the narrative became part of the solution. The campaign, "Don't Spoil Us, We'll Spoil You," emerged from a community dialogue and shared values. This story of Byron Shire puts people, creativity and care for the environment centre stage. This campaign shines a light on what truly makes Byron Shire special. During the pandemic, the Shire became a magnet, a dream escape for many. But for locals, the message was simple: please don't come.
Tourism is the lifeblood of Byron, so it hurts us more than it hurts you for me to say this. Please don't come for the holidays.
There were also the natural disasters affecting community and industry, each compounding the challenges facing the region. The Black Summer bushfires in 2019, followed by the pandemic in 2020, the catastrophic floods of 2022, and most recently, Cyclone Alfred in 2025. Each one left its mark. Families displaced, roads cut off, communities left reeling, businesses pivoting and picking up the pieces. Still, this is one of Australia's most culturally rich regions, and its thriving homegrown events scene is a big part of that. From Blues Fest, Soul Street on New Year's Eve, creativity runs deep. The Byron Writers Festival brings thinkers together, while regular arts, community and farmers markets across the region keep the community connected and localised. These gatherings celebrate not just culture, but a shared commitment to sustainability, creativity and community spirit. It's this authentic energy that continues to attract other events and industries looking to align with the organic Byron brand. Yes, tourism fuels local jobs and businesses, but it also comes with challenges to address. It deepens housing stress, strains the environment and infrastructure. In 2022, the New South Wales Government introduced a short-term rental accommodation policy, aiming to return homes to the long-term rental market and support locals. Byron Shire Council continues to chart a unique course with a locals first approach. We prefer low-impact, culturally respectful tourism and support local makers and businesses. We nurture small to medium homegrown events that enliven public spaces. And we work with the community to get the balance and priorities right. Byron Shire pursues a balance of community needs and sustainable industry. Tourism continues to enrich Byron Shire with balance, care and collaboration, without costing what makes it truly special. Byron Shire is more than a destination. It's a living, evolving story, moving with purpose. People come not just to see, but to feel. To feel connected, to be inspired, to experience something real.
If you watch that, it looks like we've got it all perfect and right. But as those of you in this industry will know, there's been a lot of discussions around this, and councils really struggle to get that balance right. And they have put some words together, and I'm not very good at following scripts, so I'll give it a go. today, so it can help explain a little bit about how we are responding to this change. And I know I've really taken it. The feedback that I've been on council for 8 years now, for those of you that don't know, but the feedback that I got from local businesses and people that were living in our community, that locals weren't feeling very at home when they were coming into the centre of town, and that businesses were really struggling, and that I feel like those two things are hand in hand. It's like people actually come here to get that feeling of alternative something of a spirited, because there's lots of places up and down the coast that are absolutely gorgeous, but there's something about the marriage of community and culture and the environment here that makes it really special. So we've seen how dynamic and at times unpredictable our local economy can be. From COVID, bushfires, cyclones, our communities face significant change. And through all this, we've done our best to be resilient and adapt and be creative. And, we touched on the floods there, but there's $300 million worth of damage to infrastructure in one night in 2022 that we're still 3 or 4 years away from finishing repairing. So understanding how much work as a council area, and also how many people lost their homes, and that sort of drag on our community has been really hard. And it's great to see everybody coming together, but it's taken a lot of work. The vibrant economic strategy to 2035 is our strategic reset. It builds on past efforts and replaces outdated frameworks like Enterprising Byron and the draft Sustainable Visitation Strategy. Sometimes councils get it wrong, and in that case we did. We got a few things really wrong in there, but we're trying. It's informed by your feedback and that of the community, and it looks towards a more purposeful, economic and sustainable future. At the heart of this strategy is a renewed focus on the visitor economy, but not just more tourism for the sake of numbers. We're embracing that purpose-driven model of tourism, international, inclusive approach that aligns with our community's values. Tourism that contributes to the way of local life rather than just disrupting it. Tourism that supports local businesses, celebrates our creative industries and respects our natural environment. This isn't just about attracting visitors. It's about ensuring that every visit that we have adds to our economy and our community and to the experience of being in the Byron Shire. So where we are today, the latest data shows that Byron Shire is approaching around $1 million in gross visitor spend, which is a powerful reminder of just how critical this sector is in our local economy. And we don't have many. Last week we had the Regional Festivals and Event Summit in the same room. So people from all across the country, but just Blues Fest alone, $300 million is what their economic impact statement says from the last event for the New South Wales economy. How that's broken down here: $558 million from domestic overnight visitors, $142 million from domestic day trippers, and $90 million from international overnight guests. And just going back to that festival conversation, we've lost. I ended up working in radio and festivals and events for quite some time. And at one point, I worked on 14 festivals a year, 11 of them in this area, and only 4 of them are still going. So that's had a big impact too on the distribution of our visitors. Last weekend would have been Splendour in the Grass. What happens at New Year's, having so many people. The whole purpose of that was to take a lot of the young people that really wanted to party out so that they could party their heads off at Falls Festival and keep town safe. So what's the sweet spot now? There has been that insecurity, and I think it's a conversation that we need to have more broadly, is where is that sweet spot between the amount of visitors that an area can support, that a festival can still get the artists that they need, and how they're placed in a year so that you get that good spread of visitors throughout the year. We've seen steady domestic growth, especially in overnight stays, with higher spends per night and longer average stays. Domestic day visitation has increased by 10%, and we're expected to see that rise further as new data becomes available. On the international front, overnight stays are up 10% year on year, with longer visits averaging nearly 10 nights. That's pretty wild. Even more impressive, Byron continues to outperform other regional areas in spend per visitor and per night. But I've got to say, as someone who loves, I mean, it's not just Byron Bay, Brunswick Heads, the hinterlands, everywhere else, but also I'm loving seeing the whole region being celebrated with the rail trail in Tweed and Casino, and just a bigger, broader appreciation of what this area has to offer is really wonderful. And I don't think being competitive about that, I think the more we share those experiences across the region, the better it is for everyone. I just had to say that because it said we were doing better than everybody else. I didn't feel very good about that. So how are we going to build on this momentum? So the plan at the moment for the Vibrant Economy Strategy will be supported by a series of focused action plans. So there are 4 of them. One of them is the visitor economy. One of them is business and industry support. One of them is the event sector. And the other one is the nighttime economy, which has been very controversial in recent weeks as we've been talking about the special entertainment precinct. But I think people are starting to understand a little bit more that it's really about, it's not about extending alcohol as much as getting people feeling comfortable to be back in town, getting more passive surveillance, getting the place feeling safe. Because unfortunately, we do make the headlines for things like, things that we don't want to make the headlines for, assaults and things like that. This approach, each one of these plans is aims to be agile, measurable, and developed in partnership with academic institutions to ensure innovation and evidence-based decision-making. This approach ensures we stay aligned with Council's broader goals, from environmental stewardship to community wellbeing, while also positioning us to adapt quickly to change. Our future success won't be achieved alone. We continue to enjoy strong collaboration with our neighbours in Ballina and Tweed, Lismore, and these partnerships, especially around shared infrastructure like the Gateway Airport, or the Ballina Byron Gateway Airport, are essential to connecting people and supporting the regional visitation. We also celebrate regional success stories like the Tweed Rail Trail, which has become a benchmark for sustainability and also for economic dispersal. These initiatives show the power of cross-council cooperation, and I sit on NORJO as well, our regional organisation, and there really is a collaborative spirit amongst us to try and get things working well for the whole region. We want to make sure our tourism is purposeful and people-centred, that local businesses and residents are supported, that events reflect and celebrate our unique culture, and that our nighttime economy contributes to vibrancy without compromising community wellbeing. We envisage a region that is economically strong, environmentally conscious, and deeply connected, where every visitor, business, and initiative contributes to a more vibrant Byron. In short, this is tourism with purpose and an economy building with care. So we thank you all for being part of that journey. And as a council, and as a mayor, I'm reaching out to other areas. And if there's any conversations that you want to have around how we can work together, please do reach out. It's been fantastic working with you, Michael, and the whole team to bring this event together. And I'll just finish by, I guess, sharing a little bit more of a story. I think as a destination, you also have to do your research and be a visitor so that you can be a good host. And so council closes down in July, and I went to Greece and Italy, as I mentioned in some of the... But it's really important seeing... going to a place where they have the opposite of a housing crisis, where I was in regions where 1 in 10 houses has someone living in it. They have amazing food, beautiful rivers, but the economic position is quite different. But just really taking that time to learn what it feels like as well with wayfinding, and how also our public transport is atrocious, and regionally we need to look at and lobby the state government and the federal government so that we can all work together better and that everybody's not so car dependent. And yeah, the biggest change that I've just seen that's happening today, Virgin Australia Chief Executive David Eberson has revealed that the airline's ready for pets, small dogs and small cats by Christmas. Now, I know I'm a dog lover but we're not quite ready for that as an industry in this area. So that's another conversation for us to have over dinner tonight, perhaps. So thank you very much, everyone. And I really look forward to seeing you tonight. And thank you very much for coming along today.